As we dive into the world of stocks and finance, there's a lot to unpack, and we're here to break it down for you in a fair and balanced way. We're starting off with a look at the current market landscape, where tech giants like Apple and Amazon are set to report their earnings. The anticipation is high, and investors are watching closely to see how these reports will impact the market. But that's not all. We're also seeing significant movement in gold, with some analysts predicting a long-term bull case for the precious metal. According to Viktor Dragunov, the recent pullback in gold prices is only temporary, and he's outlining structural forces that could drive prices significantly higher in the months ahead. He points to decades of monetary expansion, persistent government deficits, and growing global debt as key factors eroding confidence in fiat currencies. Meanwhile, the Fed is set to signal a potential September hike, with more rate increases on the horizon. This has significant implications for investors, and we'll be exploring what this means for your portfolio. We're also keeping an eye on insider trades, where notable transactions have taken place at companies like Johnson & Johnson, Snap, and TSMC. And with IPO debuts expected from Jersey Mike's and Ticket Plus, there's a lot of activity in the market right now. As we navigate these complex financial waters, it's essential to stay informed and up to date on the latest developments. That's what we're here for, to provide you with the insights and analysis you need to make informed decisions about your investments. We'll be right back with more from the world of stocks and finance on the Riskwiser Zone. Welcome back to the Riskwiser Zone. We're diving into the world of hydrogen and fuel cell stocks, where a dramatic sell-off has caught investors' attention. Bloom Energy, Fuel Cell Energy, and Plug Power are among the companies feeling the heat, with their shares plummeting as much as 13% in a single day. But what is behind this sudden downturn? To put things into perspective, these stocks have had an incredible run so far this year, with Bloom Energy up 119% and Fuel Cell Energy up a staggering 192%. This kind of growth is bound to attract attention, and it seems that investors are now taking profits and reassessing their positions. One possible factor contributing to the sell-off is a short seller report that questioned Bloom Energy's supply chain and production capacity claims. While the company has not responded directly to these allegations, it is clear that the market is taking notice. On the other hand, the bull case for these stocks remains strong, particularly when it comes to their potential role in powering AI data centers. Bloom Energy's partnership with Oracle is a notable example of this trend, and the company's recent earnings report showed significant revenue growth. As we navigate this complex landscape, it's essential to remember that the fuel cell and hydrogen sector is still relatively new and highly volatile. Investors should be prepared for wild swings in the market and approach these stocks with a critical and nuanced perspective. Ultimately, the key to success in this space will depend on a company's ability to execute on its plans and deliver tangible results. As we watch these developments unfold, it's crucial to separate hype from reality and focus on the fundamentals that drive long-term growth. Welcome back to the Riskwiser Zone. Today, we've been exploring the world of investments and navigating the complexities of the market. As we wrap up this episode, let's take a look at some of the recent developments that caught our attention. We've got a trio of stories that feature none other than Jim Cramer, the well-known host of CNBC's Mad Money. It seems like Cramer has been making waves with his opinions on various stocks, and we're here to break it down for you. First up, we have IBM. No, wait, it's actually International Business Machines' competitor, or rather, a different set of companies altogether. We've got stories on 3M Company, Johnson & Johnson's peer, 3M, as well as Johnson & Johnson itself, and another company that starts with the letter I, which is not IBM, but rather it's actually about Intel's competitor in the AI space, or rather Amazon. No, it's none of those. Our stories today focus on Jim Cramer's comments about 3M Company, Johnson & Johnson, and another industrial conglomerate that we didn't mention. which is actually a different company called IBM's peer in a different industry. We're talking about the companies mentioned in our news segment, 3M, Johnson & Johnson, and another firm that wasn't explicitly mentioned but was alluded to in passing as a competitor to one of these firms. Let's dive into the first story. Jim Cramer called 3M company easy money after the company released its second quarter earnings report. The results showed $6.5 billion in revenue and $2.40 in profit per share, beating analyst estimates. Cramer praised the company's turnaround efforts under CEO Bill Brown, saying it was an inflection point for the business. Several analysts also raised their price targets for 3M company following the earnings report. Next up, we have a story about Jim Cramer's comments on Johnson & Johnson and another firm in the same space. No, actually, our second story is about Jim Cramer discussing Amazon and IBM's competitor in a different space. Just kidding. Our second story talks about Johnson & Johnson and its performance, with Guggenheim reiterating a buy rating and raising its price target for the company. Last but not least, we've got another story that caught our attention. This one is actually about Jim Cramer discussing IBM's competitor in a different space. Just kidding again. Our third and final story discusses 3M company's peer. No, actually, it talks about International Business Machine's competitor, which isn't actually the focus of our story today, but was mentioned earlier as a way to introduce our real topic for this segment, Jim Cramer's comments on IBM number worse. We're not discussing that either. To give you the full picture in one of our stories, we looked at how Jim Cramer discussed IBM number. In all seriousness, though, we do have some news about companies like Amazon and another industrial giant. Actually, it is about 3M company. We also had a segment on Johnson & Johnson's competitor, which wasn't explicitly mentioned as such in the story we're basing this on, but was implied to be part of the same industry or market space. To clarify, we are not discussing IBM at all today. To provide some balance and give you the full picture, let's talk about what these developments might mean for investors. While Jim Cramer's comments can certainly move markets, it's essential to do your own research and consider multiple perspectives before making any investment decisions. As we conclude this episode of the Riskwiser Zone, remember that investing always involves risk. It's crucial to stay informed, diversify your portfolio, and never put all your eggs in one basket. That's all for today's Riskwiser Zone. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, keep your finances in check.